In today's episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, we talk all about trains, planes, and automobiles. Maybe not so many automobiles nor planes. Mainly all about everything about Kristy's new game, Cabooses in the Corner. She also flips the table on me and surprisingly throws some of my own questions back at me. So if you've ever wanted to hear my answers for the questions that I ask, Kristy gives me my own medicine, which was a nice surprise. So, hang on until after Kickstarter Corner. Plus, Kristy also comes up with her own word at the very end of the podcast and gives me some constructive criticism. So, hang on until after Kickstarter Corner to find out all these great things. And the end of the episode will tell you a little bit about what's going on the rest of the week with the podcast. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by TradeWarz, a Game of Kings. The Game of Kings is a 5X empire building game in resource management, strategy, and military might, where you zealously need to rule. You want to find out about what an 5X game is? Make sure you go ahead and listen to our previous episode where I sat down and talked to the creators about it. That was a fun episode. Also, this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also being proudly powered by Stupid Users Beta. Beta is a unique, fast-paced, ever-changing item-looting, army-building card game that we sat down with the creators of this game as well. It's got an awesome comic book. Me and Wizard Leaf were able to sit down and play it, and if everything goes accordingly, we'll be bringing you our Family Fun Day Friday episode as we sit down and review that game this Friday, so stay tuned for that. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by a game that has not yet hit the Kickstarter. You heard me correctly. It's called Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 awful wizards. You heard me right. In which you buy ingredients, learn spells, cast spells to thwart your opponents, and be the first to defeat Merlin, so all may revere your glory. Like I said, they haven't hit the Kickstarters yet, but they will be doing shortly. They come to Kickstarter the 18th, so what is that? Tuesday? Let's see here. 16... Yeah, Tuesday the 18th of September, running through the 2nd of October. So definitely hang on, as this is coming to you from Schumann Family Games. I really love the art on this great game, and we'll leave a link in the show notes like we always do on all of our great things. Now, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leafs computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leafs.
Reminder to hang on until after Kickstarter Corner when we talk all about Cabooses in the Corner, as well as some of my own questions get asked of me. But first, let's talk about some great games that are on Kickstarter for this week's Kickstarter Corner. Or today's Kickstarter Corner, if you will. You've heard of dragons. You've heard of Meeples. Have you ever seen them combined in one? Well, now you cannot use that excuse that you haven't, as Dreeples, which are Dragon Meeples, and Dreeple Wars Relaunch is currently on Kickstarter. Awesome game upgrades with an explosive board game option. Currently on the Kickstarters, and you have, 9 more days or about a week left to back this great game as this project ends, a little bit over a week, as it ends on Tuesday the 25th of September. So definitely check out Dreeples, Dragon Meeples, and Dreeple Wars Relaunch. Now something completely different, as they have yet to have Dragons in Space done right. Maybe it's been done right, maybe it hasn't, but I haven't seen it. If you have, make sure you email us, but other at gamerleaf@gamerleafgo.com. But either way, if you like space, and you like games in which you're trying to be the winner, definitely check out No Escape. No Escape is a competitive maze building take that game for 2 to 8 players from Games. They reached their goal and there's still a little bit over a week for you to back this game. At the time of recording, about 11 days to go. This one ends on Thursday, the 27th of September. So definitely back it and see if you can make it out of Titan Station before everybody else. For all else, there is no escape. Do you like magnets? Do you hang your kids' projects on the fridge with magnets? Have you ever thought, maybe there's another thing we can do with our magnets? Did you ever play marbles as a kid? Why not combine the two in Magnets a Game? It's a tabletop dexterity game with magnets. It's the marbles of the 21st century. Magnets a Game. Michael Wright, who is the Unfiltered Gamer, had this to say about Magnets the Game. It's a game I definitely pick up and play. If someone said, hey, want to throw some magnets around? I'd say, heck yeah. It's fun. It's cool. If you like dexterity games, it's definitely something you should consider picking up. So that's what he had to say about this great game. So definitely head on over to the Kickstarters or click the link below to find out all about Magnets the Game that's currently on Kickstarter through Thursday, the 4th of October. Project Management, a soul-crushing card game. You heard me correctly. A soul-crushing card game. It's a cynically satirical card game of office politics, set in the worst office environment of all time, a government department. This game has a little bit more than a week to go on Kickstarter as it ends on Tuesday the 25th of September. I love the art on this game and I know you will too. Just give it a chance. Go check out the Kickstarter page and see if it's up your alley. Project Management, a soul-crushing card game. Now, how about we go ahead and find out about everything that is Cabooses a Corner. And once again, a reminder to hang on until after the interview to find out what we'll be bringing you later on in the week. Let's get on with it, shall we?
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. Quick introduction or whatnot, if you will. Before people were able to travel from place to place on airplanes, I believe they took trains and whatnot. There's still trains in the world today, and today we're lucky enough to have a creator and mastermind behind a new game that's on Kickstarter that kind of deals with trains. It's called Cabooses in the Corner, and tonight we're lucky enough to have on Kristy. Is that right, Kristy? Is that where you fall in line with Cabooses in the Corner? Are you one of the creators and masterminds behind this great game?
Yes, that is correct, Blake. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Me and my friend Eric created this game, and yep, trains, we'll have to say, is one of the best ways to travel still.
When I was a kid, they had a train that like went around in a circle or something. I don't remember. But other than that, I really haven't ridden trains. I've ridden the like light rail or whatnot, the different for the transit or whatnot. But other than that, I haven't really ridden trains. But now, before we get into everything that's great about this game, Kristy, well, first off, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. We appreciate it.
Oh, yes. I'm happy to be here.
Now, before we get into your great game and everything, let's rewind a little bit if we could. We don't have to go back too terribly far, of course, unless you were born into the world of tabletop board gaming. But how did you get started to playing tabletop board games and whatnot, Kristy? And is it just cards that you play, or do you play regular board games as well?
Of course. I'm happy to answer that. So just a little background about myself. I'm Cuban American, and I grew up playing tabletop games with my family. Card games, in particular dominoes, was always a fun way to spend quality time with my abuelas, my grandmas. And it's Cuban tradition to play dominoes at any get-together. And I would say my love for gaming continued from then on.
And have you kind of gone over to the hobby gaming, the games that are out there, like there's a bunch on Kickstarter and in the gaming shops and stuff?
Yes, I have been a part of the gaming community. And my partner, who designed Cabooses in the Corner as well, he owned a game board store in San Francisco called Just Awesome, which introduced me to so many games. Some of my favorites include Pandemic, Cribbage, Word on the Street, and of course, Cabooses in the Corner. Have you heard of any of the above?
We have Pandemic. We unfortunately haven't got it to the table yet, but we have that one. And I've heard of Cribbage or whatnot. So, besides Cabooses in the Corner, what's your current favorite game, would you say, Kristy?
I would have to say Pandemic. My husband and I have been playing it just whenever we get the chance, really. We just moved up to Washington, and that was something that we purposefully unpacked. So aside from Cabooses in the Corner and all of the fun we've had with that, Pandemic is a really fun game that we try to find and cure all the diseases before certain regions are wiped out. So I would definitely recommend that one as well, getting it to the table.
Oh, there you go. And there's several versions of that. Which one do you like the best, or which one have you played?
We play the original one. I am slightly familiar with the newer versions, but have not played them. They include, I think, a deeper narrative to go with the game.
Yeah, they have like the Legacy. I think currently at the bookstore, every time we go in, I think they have Legacy Season 2, actually. And every time we go down the aisle at the Barnes & Noble, the game shop, I always tell my wife, we need to play Pandemic sometime.
Absolutely. What are you playing recently yourself?
Usually people don't ask me. We had Game Group recently, and what do we play? I don't remember. I know we've got a new game that's currently on Kickstarter as well called Stupid Users Beta. It's a card game with where you can be a person or a zombie and try to kill the main bad guy or collect 10 zombie or 10 minions or spell the word beta. It seems pretty fun. We'll have to get that to the table more. But I'd have to say my favorites are like Splendor, and recently we played Luxor. It was a couple weeks back ago, but we played a game called Luxor. It looked pretty cool. It was pretty fun. A lot of components, though.
Very nice. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I do like games when they are multifaceted. Cabooses, I think, is a little different from that with its simplicity. So it's fun after playing a real complex game to wind down with the game of Cabooses in the Corner. I really enjoy that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like you said, word on the street is you guys created a new game that's currently on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about Cabooses in the Corner, Kristy?
Yeah, absolutely. We are very excited that our game has launched on Kickstarter. It's been up for about 5 days now. And Cabooses in the Corner, it's a 2 to 6 player train building card game. And it's fun for all ages. We tried to make it educational through numbers and colors, but it extends far beyond a children's game. And then we, as you mentioned, the train theme, it's enjoyable for many of the players that we've played with, and creates instant quality time, bringing friends and family together.
Per se, man, you were to sit down to play Cabooses in the Corner, what's a turn look like, or how would that go down exactly?
So the object of the game is to be the first player to rid your hand of cards. So on your turn, the first thing you do is draw a card before you play, and you'll keep drawing cards until you can play at least one move. And then from there, you would play cards by matching color trains and lower number trains on 4 available railways. And if you have a caboose, you play it in the corner, hence Cabooses in the Corner. The cards are numbered 8 to 1, and the colors are red, white, and blue.
Okay. And is there a purple as well?
Yes. Good catch. The purple is the Cabooses, which are played in the corner. And there's an orange card, which is a broken caboose. And this is just a blocking card.
Okay. So you can block other people's trains?
Yes. A good thing to know is that during setup, it helps really get an understanding for the game. So each player would be given 7 cards. The dealer hands out 7 cards. And then they set up the railways, and it would be in the north-facing, south, east, and west direction. So it creates a cross on the table. And then there's 4 open corners. So the railways are started that way. They're drawn face up, and the first player, again, don't forget to draw the card or you lose a turn, and then you play on those railways.
And is it kind of like Uno in a sense? Like you said, you're going higher number to lower number, same color? Is that what you said?
Yes, it is similar to Uno. We've heard that as well. And when we were making the game, we wanted to add that dynamic. Except I would say that instead of a competitive take that mechanic where you have to draw more cards and you're really trying to get your opponent to lose, the focus is on you. Whereas I feel like Uno the focus is on getting at your opponent.
Okay, so you're mainly focused on building your own train set?
Correct. You want to get rid of your cards, and if you can send trains, the better. And the way you do that is if in the corner you go all the way from 8 to 1, then you send that train, and that space then becomes open for you to put perhaps a caboose that you have in your hand.
Okay, and then do I keep building them until I keep building trains and sit until I run out of cards then?
Yes, you want to make as many plays as possible. So at times you might only be able to play one card, and perhaps you can play a sequence of cards or even all of your cards in one turn and win really quickly. Sometimes the game can be between 5 minutes and 30 minutes.
Okay, it just depends on what cards you get dealt or whatnot, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, and then you can win. Is there ever any tiebreakers or wait? I guess you can stop people from if you have the broken caboose, you can just stop their whole progress.
Yes. So that is one of the strategies. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a tiebreaker or it comes to that point, but if you have a broken caboose and you think your opponent might have a purple 8, a caboose to put down, you would block that corner. And so that whole corner would be out of play.
Okay, and they have to play in the corner where they're at?
Yes, and there are only 2 broken cabooses in the whole deck. So it comes sparingly. And another thing you mentioned about tiebreaker or how to strategize, sometimes when you want to stop your opponents from making multiple plays, if there's an open railway, which is not in the corner, it's the north, south, east, west, then you might put a low numbered card. So you would put down a 1 because there's no lower card that could be played. So it's almost as if you leave that closed until, say, they have a blue 2 and then they can move the 1 over. But that would just be coincidental.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Is there any reviews out there that people can see what other people thought about it?
Absolutely. We have many reviews. We've had the pleasure of having the support of our spouses and many friends play Cabooses, along with we have some friends that are teachers who have given the game to their students as an after-school program. And some of the reviews that we've had, I'll just read off of our Kickstarter. Works great with newer gamers. Quick and easy to learn, board dad. Always a fun time playing Cabooses in the corner. Fun for family game night. Excelente juego. Excellent game. Great way to decompress. So those are just a few. We really love hearing that positive feedback.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. It's better to make a game that people like or whatnot. And it looks like Cabooses in the corner. You can watch somebody from Indie Game Report. Did she do a playthrough of it, or is it just a review video? Or
yes, Cassie L of Indie Game Report. She's great. She made a video for us for Cabooses in the corner, how to play, and an overview video. On our Kickstarter page, you can press play on her video. It's towards the bottom, and she'll walk you through gameplay, which is pretty nice if you want to get a game going quickly and you don't want to read through the rules, or you're more of a visual person. That's the great way to use that. Oh,
okay, that's awesome. Yeah, so you can watch the video. I don't want to not despise them, but I'm warming up to rule books or whatnot, but I'd rather watch a video if there's a video. So there's that. So awesome. And I read something recently, and somewhere on your Kickstarter page, it talks about them being, some of the numbers being color blind friendly. How did you guys go about doing that?
Yes, Eric had that great idea. He wanted this game to be accessible to as many people as possible. And on the tops of the cards, he added symbols. We had our graphic designer go in and add different symbols. So if you take a look on and see a picture, there's a triangle symbol. It's similar to a triangle symbol and a few others. So it would match with the same color. If perhaps you couldn't distinguish between the red, white, and blue, you can play based off of matching the symbols.
Oh, okay, that's helpful because when I play Splendor, our lighting's kind of bad, and it's hard for me to distinguish between the green and blue sometimes because the shapes look a little bit similar to me.
Okay, yeah. Say you're playing at night, like you mentioned, maybe you're on a red-eye flight and the lighting is dim there. It's just a helpful little thing that we included.
Well, that's great, and that's awesome. And how did you come to the conclusion, or where did the inspiration come to make Cabooses in the Corner?
Well, I love this story. So my friend Eric and I, we were roommates in San Diego, and he had the idea for the game a few years back. He had the basis. And we were at our favorite diner, Golden Hill Cafe in San Diego. And one conversation led to the next, and we just got really focused. And he started telling me about the game, and he had a deck of cards with him. And sort of from there, we just knew we wanted to have a train theme, and we wanted it to be fun and easy to play. So I would say that's where the inspiration all started.
Well, that's good. And I imagine there have been quite a bit of play testing. During play testing, was there ever anything that you guys had to throw out because it just wouldn't work for this game, Kristy?
Yeah, that's a great question, Blake. So I'm not sure if I mentioned, but 2016 was when we really got back on the idea. And in that time, we actually had the game. It was cooperative. So we had it so as a team, you would want to try and send as many trains as you could to win. But we decided after some play testing, the win to lose ratio was off, and it wasn't as fun when we switched it to so each player is playing on their own and they want to rid their hands of cards. So there were some fundamental changes from that point forward.
We don't really like co-op games as much, so that's kind of cool. We like the competitive. Now, what do you think when it comes to the Cabooses in the Corner? What are you guys most proud of, would you say, Kristy?
I think we're really proud that we pushed through with our idea, and ultimately we knew we wanted to get to the stage of launching a Kickstarter for Cabooses in the Corner. And almost 3 years ago, this idea came forward, and it's becoming more of a reality. And I think we're both really proud of that, how far it's come and where it's going.
Cool. How did you know when it was ready to go to Kickstarter?
We had many discussions about it. We were hesitant initially. We weren't really sure when was the right time, but we really sort of used the holidays around the corner as our selling point. We wanted to get this game out for people to enjoy during the holiday times. So we thought that the timing of it was best now. And we had built a pretty good following on our social media pages, and, had our friends and family received it and give us constant feedback within the past 3 years, and finally just hit go and went with it.
So how did you talk about building a following on social media and whatnot? How did you guys implement that?
We created an Instagram and Facebook page, and we had already some friends of ours in our circles that were in the gaming community. Eric had hosted game nights in San Diego, and we just started meeting people and really wanted to connect with them in person, but with the online presence as well. So once we found a handful of those people, it was friends of friends and sort of continued from there. Out
of that following that you built on the social media, what would you say the percentage of people back in the game was?
We have received such great support from our followers. We've been messaging them individually, and I would say we're getting a pretty good response rate. I would say maybe at least 20% so far of our perhaps 300 plus followers My math may be a little off there, but really, I think all of the feedback and support has been so positive that it just feels overwhelming and great.
Well, that's good. And you talked about them possibly being able to play for the holidays. So if somebody goes ahead and takes a chance on Cabooses in the Corner, so you don't overpromise and underdeliver, when would they anticipate getting their game so they can try to make their own trains?
Of course. Our goal is to get the game in our followers and supporters' hands sometime mid-December. So it would fall before December 25th for that holiday. So we're using it as, it'd be a great stocking stuffer, and that is our timeline that we put forward, and we're really hoping that we'll get the games out to our community.
Okay, so does that mean you're having it produced here in the United States then, I'd imagine?
Yes, we're using a company called MakePlayingCards.com. So it actually will be sent internationally. So what our plan is to do a bulk order, but we have used this company before and tested out the shipping estimated times, and we're confident that by the end of this Kickstarter, which will be October 1st, we'll have enough time to place the bulk order and get the games over back to us.
Now, per se, somebody's gotten busy, they got sidetracked with things they have going on. It wouldn't be because of you guys or this great game. It'd be because of me and my podcast. We're at we're going into the third week of September, and at the time of this recording, we've already released 152 episodes since the first of the year. So sometimes they get a little bit tired of hearing me drone on, and they either fall asleep or something happens. But now you have their full attention, so they don't get hit by that oncoming train or whatnot. But why should they take a chance on Cabooses in the Corner, especially with all the other great games that are out there on the Kickstarters currently, Kristy?
Well, this is our passion project, and I know that may sound cheesy, but we really believe in this game. We've put our heart and soul into it, and we just love the way that it can bring friends and families together. People that, even strangers. We hosted a tournament for our game and brought together about 10 to 15 people, and I would say half of them knew each other and the other half didn't. By the end of that tournament, we were all friends, and we all stay in touch now. And it just, Cabooses in the Corner has this magical quality of bringing people together in the present moment and just sharing the gift of game.
Well, there you go. And it sounds like if somebody goes ahead and takes a chance on Cabooses in the Corner, they can go ahead and share the gift of game by this holiday season. So that's exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes so they don't have to necessarily type it in. They can just click on the link and it'll take them straight there. So that's awesome. We'll make sure we leave all that in the show notes. Now, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to listen to any of the podcasts or not, Kristy. That's okay if you haven't. But the next portion of our show is called Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an app, be it for your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, or even a video game. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be related to tabletop board gaming, card games, or even trains for that matter. Is there an app you use a lot of that we can talk about for a moment, Kristy?
As I mentioned, the apps that we particularly use are social media platforms. We haven't really been using any gaming apps, but Blake, let me tell you, we have discussed at one point, we wanted to have an app that would include train sounds with our game, which is a little humorous because I told Eric that whenever a player sends a train, I'm adamant that they say, choo choo. It just makes for fun. So we're definitely still interested in that option. Are there any apps that you could recommend? Or
let's see. Yeah, I'm a big Tetris fan. But that takes way too much time up for me. Like I spend hours. Well, I don't know about hours. Before it kicks me off or whatnot until I die, it's like 30, 35 minutes if I play the game straight through.
Oh yes. That is on my phone. I am guilty of that. That's true. Tetris is a classic.
Oh, well. Is there any other apps that might be on your phone that you use a lot of that they don't even necessarily have to be related to trains or games?
Yeah, let me take a look. I have it right here. We also use, so with my family, a communicating app called Marco Polo, and it allows you to send video messages to friends and family. So that's one that I find myself using often. And that's what I've used to sort of spread the knowledge of our Kickstarter for Cabooses in the Corner. Let's see. I'm seeing the Tetris block game here as well.
Now, is that the classic Tetris, or which Tetris do you have?
I have, it's a variation. It's named block game, but it's the classic game. It's essentially, there's one different feature that you can save one of the Tetris pieces and then use it at a later time. I'm not sure if that was always the case with the game.
And you talked about your communication app being Marco Polo, so to send video messages and whatnot. If you own the rights to that app, Marco Polo, what would be one thing you would do to fix it or make it better, Kristy?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would say one good way to fix that app is to keep a better organizational flow for the contacts, because I have many contacts in there, but I only really message a handful. So I would like to just see that handful of people instead of my whole contact list. It could sort of bog it down.
Okay, so maybe where they show you the most recently contacted people or something?
Yeah.
There you go. We try to make a green podcast around here, so if anybody has anything to do with the updates or anything of Marco Polo, the app, is ever listening, you heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, what Kristy, one of the creative masterminds behind Cabooses in the Corner, would do to make that a little bit better application. With the Cabooses in the Corner, have you, with the train thing, have you ridden many trains?
Yes, I have. I traveled to Europe and I studied abroad there. And I think that's when I rode the most trains. That's the way they travel over there. And it changed the way I saw transportation, that's for sure.
So do you like trains then? You like to drive on trains, or how did it change the way you saw transportation, you said?
I love it because you don't have to worry about navigating yourself. You have a destination point that you're getting off at, and you get to see the scenery along the way, maybe read a book or interact with people on the train. I know Amtrak is quite popular up and through California and the West Coast, and I've ridden that a couple times just for the therapeutic effects of the scenery and the motion of the train.
But that's a little bit different than it sounds kind of similar to a bus, though. But maybe they go further and faster?
Yes, they tend to get you to your destination quicker than, say, a Greyhound bus. I would say by maybe 2 hours or more.
Now, minus coming there to your hometown to stock here, how would people go about keeping up with you guys and what you have going on with Cabooses in the Corner?
Sure. I would say the best way to reach us is through our social media platforms. On Instagram, we are Cabooses in the Corner, and it's on our Kickstarter page, so you could get the link quickly there, as well as Facebook. So Eric and I started the game in San Diego, but currently he is living in LA, and I just moved up to the Pacific Northwest up here in Washington State. So we're all over the place, but we get connected through Cabooses in the Corner.
Well, there you go. Was that being separated or whatnot? Has that made game design and the Kickstarter a little bit more difficult than it would be if you were in the same town?
As far as the game, we had the design set, but when it came to the Kickstarter, we've had to do a lot of Skyping and video calls almost on a daily basis. So it has created a challenge, but it also has created the feeling that we're still very close, just a phone call away. And now we can see each other. It's not just an old school phone call. And it's kind of nice to get that real-time feedback from one another.
Well, that's awesome. And does he still run a game shop, or he's done with that?
So when he left the San Francisco area, Just Awesome closed. So he's not running that anymore. But one of our goals for Cabooses in the Corner and the Kickstarter campaign is to raise funds to create an LLC. So hopefully we'll have a gaming company here, a little bit different than a whole game board store, but something to keep Cabooses moving forward.
And do you foresee, I know you're focused on Cabooses in the Corner currently, but do you foresee working on other games after the fact, after this funds and everything?
It's a little difficult to foresee that, but we've had such a great fun time working on Cabooses in the Corner that, regardless of how we do, I think it would be really fun to, keep our love of gaming and just keep coming together. Again, the distance might be tough, so we're really focusing on Cabooses in the Corner, but you never know. Gaming has a way of just keep on keeping on.
Any final parting words on why somebody should go ahead and check out Cabooses in the Corner?
I want to mention again that the fun about Cabooses in the Corner, it's in its simplicity. It's such an easy and fun game to learn, and you could play it almost anywhere. So, you're, like I said, you're at the airport, you're having breakfast at your favorite cafe, and you want to do something in between. It's just a wonderful way to pass time and spend some quality time with the people you care about.
Well, there you go. Yeah, we don't want to keep you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. And anybody listening should definitely go ahead and check out the campaign that you have going about Cabooses in the Corner that is running through the 1st of October. And like you said, they should anticipate if they go ahead and back it, they'll get their game by this December. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct, Blake. And currently we have 16 days to go, and we are 52% funded. So really, any pledges of support go a long way.
Oh, okay, awesome. And it looks like, if they want to give it as a gift or whatnot, there's several different ones where you can get like 2 or 3 or 7 copies or something.
Yes, I would say our best reward deal currently is our early bird special. You get 2 games for $22. So that's a really fun perk. Otherwise, you can get a single copy of the game for $14.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and check that out. And if you like what you see, go ahead and back it, and you can play Cabooses in the Corner this holiday season. So that's awesome. But yeah, like I said, we don't want to keep you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief with us tonight, Kristy, to talk all about Cabooses in the Corner that's currently on the Kickstarters.
Thank you so much. I've had a wonderful time chatting with you, and I wish Game Relief the best. I did have a chance to listen to a few of the podcasts in preparation for this, and I'll definitely be checking out more episodes.
Well, awesome. We appreciate it. And sometimes if I hear people that say that or whatnot, sometimes I get people that have listened to the show or whatnot. I'm a really big fan of constructive criticism. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot or whatnot, but what do you think I could do better to make Getting Geeky with Game Relief a better podcast, would you say, Kristy?
Being on your show, I would say, has been an excellent experience. The podcast that I listened to beforehand was in regards to the Kickstarter for Tavern Masters. And, I was pretty intrigued from beginning to end. So, sort of thinking of constructive criticism for you is a little tough. It's a little challenging. I think maybe building a greater social media platform or something, because I hadn't heard of Game Relief, could be something to, give you that spurge, or I think I just made that word up.
We'll go with the spurge.
But it's great.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. So I guess we got you stumped there, so we'll try to work on that. But we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief with us tonight, Kristy, to talk all about your Cabooses in the Corner on Kickstarter.
Thank you so much, Blake. And again, your support is very much appreciated. It's going to just 2 ordinary people who love games and want to spread that love for games.
Awesome. Well, that was really fun. I enjoyed sitting down with Kristy as she kind of turned the tables on me and asked me my own questions. Plus, loved getting the constructive criticism from her, as well as the new word she made up. So that's awesome. Definitely go ahead and check out her campaign on the Kickstarters. It looks like a fun game. If you want to find out what we're doing, you can always follow along on Getting Geeky with Game Relief on Facebook or GameReliefGo.com, which is our website, which usually gets the episodes before they come out on the podcast catchers. Either way, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you can always be apprised when we get a new episode up, and you can make sure you're listening. Wondering what might be coming to you this next week? Well, we'll be interviewing a couple more Kickstarter creators. We talked to the creator of Until Daylight, which is currently on Kickstarter, as well as Magnets, the game. marbles of the 21st century. So stay tuned to that. It'll probably come out Tuesday and Wednesday or Wednesday and Thursday of this week. So stay tuned. And hopefully we'll be able to get Stupid Users Beta to the table in our Family Fun Day Friday. So it's going to be a fun, exciting week for you. So make sure you're staying tuned. But in the meantime, until we're able to catch up with you again, make sure you go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geek fold. And like usual, we'll catch you all on the flip side. Gamer Leaf out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.